for this epoch-making event. I derive enormous pleasure in welcoming each one of you here on this golden evening. Change has swept over like a wind from heaven. One moment it was the year 1971, and now, as if a magic wand has been waved, it's the Golden Jubilee. Needless to say, some of the best friendships are always made in the portals of an educational institution. And what better friendship than the one made in the classy precincts of St. Aloysius College. As Jessica Park says, the friends you make in college will be with you for life, even if you do not talk to them for years at a time. Life, with all its twists and turns, may have weakened the thread. So we hope that this reunion will strengthen the weave into a robust and colorful tapestry that will go on forever and ever. As you all know, we have with us very important people in our midst. Hence, I'll defer no time, because Shakespeare says, defer no time, delays have dangerous ends. So before we move on to the formal spread, let's send up a prayer to Almighty through the mellifluous throat of Edith D'Souza.
My request to all the people to please stand up, and I am Dr. Cletus D'Souza's wife. Vani veni nage deva Shirava bhagi mani veni nage deva Mani veni nage deva Shirava bhagi mani veni nage deva Neene tande neene taai neene bandhu neene bhagini neene tande neene taai neene bandhu neene bhagini neene sarva neene sakala neene alla inyarella mani veni nage deva shirava bhagi mani veni nage deva.
Kindly take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, Edith, for that sweet sounding and meaningful prayer. It's very rarely that one comes across successful people who are not only going great guns in their profession, but also set a universal example for others to emulate. The chairman of the Golden Jubilee reunion is a case in point. His hat is in the ring of famous businessmen of Karnataka, of Souza cashew fame. And he is extolled for his incredible benevolence. Yet, he wears his success very casually and his feet stays firmly planted on the ground. But whether by candlelight or starlight, Walter D'Souza is always in the spotlight. May I request the chairman to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening.
Reverend Father Rector, Reverend Father Principal, the Registrar of our college, and my buddies. Regina has certainly put me in a spot. From the time we came out with this initiative, the principal has been involving me in many events, and I have been given the opportunity to address many gatherings. So people sometimes are common. And in one occasion, they said, instead of speaking, why don't you sing? And people who know me, and many of my batchmates whom I am meeting after even 50 years, know that I am very good in obliging. So I started singing. I finished my song. They all gave me a thunderous applause and said, once more. I sang again. Then when I finished, they said, repeat. I sang a third time, by which time I could make out like Father Gomes, the mischievous laugh. There is some problem involved. And I said, enough is enough. I'll take my place. All of them got up and said, we won't let you go until you sing correctly. Today is a day we are at the golden banquet of our golden batch, where we are required to dance to the tune of the greats like Eric, Prem Lobo, and of course Santosh should have been here, he is not there. We danced to Eric's tune even when we were students, because he was so powerful at that time, because his leadership qualities were such. So I don't want to come in between the orchestra that has been arranged here on either side and the way Regina Dinesh is conducting this evening's program. So I request all of you to enjoy this evening and make friends whom you have not met for the last 50 years, and try to cement your relationships so that you are able to have in touch with them in the future. I am very happy that the morning session, the formal session of our convocation, commendation, and the program that we have had went on very well. I say a big thank you to God Almighty. We had several odds. We had to weather the storm, and that was a huge challenge. The challenge was so huge that last week itself, maybe till Wednesday, we were not sure whether we would have this program at all. But God has been great, and more importantly, the principal stood by us like a rock, and he said, nothing doing, you can go ahead, there is no issues at all. So it has gone on well. We were 31 of us out of the committed 71. 71 were sure to come, and out of that 40 backed out for various reasons, some of whom fell sick maybe yesterday and day before yesterday. So things have been bad, but we are here, and I am happy that all of us are here. We will remain together, and as expressed by some of the batchmates who could not make it for inevitable reasons, we shall certainly have an occasion where we will meet, greet, and interact, probably in the campus, and also we'll go around the campus and relive our student days. With these few words, I welcome all of you, especially Father Rector, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto. Please welcome him with a round of applause, please. Our principal, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, and the registrar, Dr. Alvin Dessa. Hearty welcome to all of you. Let's enjoy this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter, for that welcome address which held profound warmth in it and pouring that precious compliment on me. I'm sure behind everyone's eyelids there's a buried video clip of their life during their college days. Today, we will let one boy from each batch open the album of his memory and to tumble out. The first boy on my list is Reverend Father Xavier Gomes from BA.
My dear Honorable Father Rector, my dear Honorable Father Principal, Honorable Registrar of the St. Aloysius College, Chairman of our program Walter D'Souza, Secretary Frank, and convener of this program, C.P. Dinesh, and all of you, my colleagues and your family members. At the very outset, I have to tell you, I am tall, but my experiences or reminiscences are only for 5 minutes. The committee has told me, restrict only 5 minutes. So you have a countdown. When 4 minutes, somebody can sneeze, whatever. The 5th minute you clap, and then my speech stops. So this is like this. Some of my friends recently had sent me this message. Birth is a parent's gift. Education is a teacher's gift. Job is a company's gift. Wife is a life's gift. But friends are God's gift. So I am to touch friends are God's gift, one. And secondly, education is a teacher's gift. Morning, enough and more, we have spoken on teacher's gift. What we are today is nothing but the lecturers have made us from the mud, being their potters, they have given a shape to our clay, like, which we have enumerated to our friends enough and more things in morning. Therefore, I would like to touch friends are God's gift. What a lovely sentence, what a lovely message that you are God's gift for us, for every one of us. It makes no difference whether 10 or 20, but it makes your presence to be here from far and near, to be in this hall and to listen some of our mischievous days we had or academic days we had, whether it is in the field of games, in the classrooms or outside. Let me just get, I have written Anubhava Savi, Adara Nenapu Innastu Savi. So whatever we had things to think is really Savi, but today to get back and refresh the memory, it is still sweeter. So I tell first what happened to me and when I came to college. I hail from Shirua, a rural place where English is unknown to us except English period in the class. Our English is Kannada English. So I came from that background, from a rural background and a seclusion culture. Where I was a boy, I had 4 years at St. Aloysius, 1 year PUC, that time was university, Mysore University PUC 1 year and 3 year degree course. I was a secluded boy, or for that matter, anyone coming from the village is a seclusion culture. Our culture is all to be all alone. Because we don't know English, neither we know Kerala, Malayalam, nor we know other. Sometimes we spoke Tulu and sometimes Konkani, which was forbidden in the college, and some of the lectures even used to ask us, fine or stand up or is not tolerable. So all these similar situations made us how to speak. So we became all alone like. Then later on, after a few weeks, we slowly changed it, and I became a part of a Mangalore culture, which is known as a cosmopolitan culture. So I became slowly moving step by step with the college other boys, and I studied their culture, and I became, though I was in BA, became a cosmopolitan student having Mangalore culture of wrong or right English, in between little Tulu, and then forget my English and Tulu and speak Kannada or Konkani. This is what happened when I appeared to the principal's chamber. This is a very interesting thing, but I still remember, but at the end of the year, I, in the sense, became a pure Mangalorean, or for that matter, English spoken student, and variety is a space of life, and unity in diversity, and as a result, I met all people. I was thinking that only in the world, only there are Catholics and Konkani speaking Catholics, because in my class, in the 10th standard, 80 or 90% students belong to our community in Shirua. And after coming to I saw Malayalis, there in the world Malayalis. Slowly I come to the Muslims, and my mind horizon broadened. From a restricted sphere of life, I became very secular. Within a year, I became very secular and I could chat more with all the people at the cross section of the people in all other language, and they became my friends. I totally forgot my language, my culture, limited culture, and I became completely one with the Mangalorean or city or Aloysian culture. So that is the first point. I became how I started to learn. Second, the love of the teachers towards students. This is very unique. I have to tell you this. The love of the teachers to the students, or for that matter with the students. Love of the teacher. I somewhere other had ankle twist and I was limping to go to the class. When the bell rang at 9:30, our classes began those days 9:30. I was limping from step to step to go to the first floor, first classes. And then Father L.F. came to my side. He was supposed to go to mind the discipline, I think. He called me. He called me back. Come here. And he put his hand on the cassette and gave me one yellow empty paper. Yellow empty paper. And he asked me to go to the canteen. I was nervous. What punishment is waiting there? In the canteen, I was given a royal welcome because in the teacher's room, there is a separate canteen. There was a room for the teachers. Those days know. One small near the Benjamin's room. Next was the teacher's room for coffee. And students were in that hall like that, a canteen which we have made now stage, open stage. Mother Teresa there. I was in royal welcome there. Surprise. With the teachers, I sat, I took tea. The canteen man, Mr. Shetty, asked me, how dosa you want or idli you want? What is this? Only yellow empty letter, empty paper. And that man is treating right royally. I did not understand. I was totally puzzled. Then he says, while coming out slowly, Madhyana ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನಿರಿ, arrangement ಮಾಡಿದೆ. What is this? I do not know what arrangements. And I had no courage to meet Father L.F. because he was a terror. And later on he told me, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಅವರು ಹೆದರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಕಂಪನ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ನೀವು ಭವಿಷ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ರಫ್ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ನಾನು ರಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಹೆದರಿದ್ದು ಮಾರಾಯ ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ he told me, ಅದರಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಹಲ್ಲು ನೋವು ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು ಒಳಗೋದಂತ ನನಗೆ ಖುಷಿ, ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡುವ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿದರು. I did not know earlier that he was virtually afraid of our students. That was a top secret. He kept it, and as a result he won over, and that was a winning day for him. This is what later on which I interacted when I became a principal for about 25 years or 30 years. When I interacted, a couple of things he had shared with me, and he had made me to walk in that line. Anyway, this is interesting. A strict principal, Father L.F., made something change in my life in the college campus. His loving heart, which many of us do not know, touched me. That yellow paper, I am told, was only given by a principal to the canteen to honor it. Whatever you can take or how many days you like to take. This is a very interesting secret. And in turn, he told me after his retirement, that is late Father Jerome D'Souza, who was one of the constituent father of constitution making body, member of India, who was a principal of Loyola College, had this paper, and late Abdul Kalam ji also had such a yellow letter. So I was given that letter and I enjoyed it for 5 days. Ankle used to stop, but I had no courage to go to his room and say thank you, because that was a terrifying scene, and many of us, if they come to know what is he, it was a terrifying. This is, I still remember, and I cannot forget it. This was an occasion for me to enumerate the reminiscences. I just would like to tell first 2-3 situations, then I take regarding lecturers and regarding my classmates and students and you elders. Second, very interesting one. Third, my mother, uneducated, with her elder sister, came to Father Principal and asking his letter. Since my father was working in railway, I was getting a railway scholarship both for hostel and college. So they came to ask him a letter. But in that innocence, Akkalu Bannaga, Basale was in Boroditar, Basale Wende, Bagala Sunday. Principal room of Ponaga, out to the Artel Person Balter, Undi Erican, and Nama Padere. ಅವು ಈರೇಕಿಂದ ಇಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಊರುಡುಂಡು ತಹಶೀಲ್ದಾರ್ ಫೋನ್ ಬಂದೆ ಪಟ್ಲೇಟ ಫೋನ್ ಕಲಿಸಂಡೆ ಅಂಚೆ ಕೊಡುದಿತ್ತು ಎನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಪೆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಕೊರಿಯರು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಬಂದಿರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ 30 ಜನ ಉಳ್ಳೇರಿ ಯಾನು ಒಂದು ಈತು ಕಿನ್ನ ಇತ್ತು bus principal openly said, to my mother, you have brought this much spinach or whatever you like, and this much lettuce finger, whom to give, he said. And asked my mother and my mother's sister, he said, I am going to lab. They did not understand what is it. And asked them to, through the attendant, to go to canteen and take coffee and come back. By the time this all, whatever my mother had brought was nicely packed. My attendant, his late father left, made known to the attendant, please pack for everybody and other INR 5 So this is what he did it. My mother got the letter, whatever you like. But afterwards, when I went home after a month, this matter was revealed to me. But still I did not meet the principal because I was nervous and not meeting. Anyway, they got a letter and whatever scholarship was to be given, it was granted and everything went on smoothly. Still, till my mother's death, we used to remember it all because my mother used to tell me, I met there one priest and they were not like ಕಾಫಿ ಟೀ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊರಿಯರು ఒక ₹5 ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ఒక ಪೋರೆ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ ఒక ದಾಲ್ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ ಕಾಕಾಜಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಂಚಿನ ಗುತ್ತಿಗೆ these were the words my mother till her death she said till her death not only I am remembering my LF later LF my principal even my mother remembered him that is what I wanted to tell you a old lady uneducated lady remembered him so much and she had every time after the prayers in the evening she used to remember or remind me. Imagine that priest. He has not only gave a letter but also gave rupees and also he made us quite happy. And this is the emotion and sentiments my mother had and this is what I am sharing you. A very interesting thing it is, though it looks like a silly matter, but it is a very serious matter for me to make known to you in this history. Another thing, the election. College had every year election. When I was in third year BA, my companion friend Bhagwan Das stood for the election and all other classmates were backing him. He was a common hero. But against him one BSc man, who I forget the name, he was a good dramatist.
KP Mohan,
a really great figure compared to his academic standard. He is BSc and first class dramatist. His English expression is better than our Kerala Verma or for that matter any lecturer. Such a great person. And they were fighting for elections. And then some other, by hook or crook or by one or the other way, Bhagwan Das won the election. We had gone with the procession to St. Aloysius to St. Agnes College because those days there were no girls. There were no girls in the college and not even a women lecturer in the college. So this is an interesting growing age, nothing can be done. So there was a procession. Over reaching the then principal, Aloysius, called over the police I think. When police had come, I jumped from the compound wall. It would have been a record. If at all it is recorded in the college history. For life, I don't want any council procession and council. I came to the conclusion. When the police went first time we saw, it was enough and enough. Enough is enough. So this was very interesting. I never felt next day to get up because all legs and the joints were paining so much. Shake below. This was there. And all this when I get in my mind, sometime after becoming principal for 30 years, all this rejoinder makes me what life we had those days and what restriction we had those days. All I remember very much. I remember one history lecturer, his name is Kasmir Menages. This is the only lecturer during his hour we had entertainment. ಕೆಲವರು ಚಿಪ್ಸ್ ತರ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಕೆಲವರು ಲಡ್ಡು ತರ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಖಾಲಿ ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ಗೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಪಿಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಅವರು ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗೋರು ಗಲಾಟೆ, ಈಚೆ ಹೋಗೋರು ಗಲಾಟೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡೆಲ್ಲ BA ಹುಡುಗರು ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ 1 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಬಿಡಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಬಜ್ಪೇಯಿ ಜೂನಿಯರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಅವರನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಉಳಿದ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡುವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ದೇವರ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಏನು ಕಲಿಸಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದಿನ BA MAಗಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಾಸಂಗ ಅಥವಾ ಅವರ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ದೇವರದೆ and they used to help us. It is something great and unique. We have modern education which is taken up with PowerPoint projection, PowerPoint projection, then paper cuttings, clippings, and then video and audio and so many things. But those days itself we had, if not PowerPoint presentation, but they had so many varieties of ways of teaching us, asking the questions, writing us some anecdotes, and who is your best historian, please write in a page, and why you like him best, and one or other similar ways to make us to understand economics and other subjects too. So I cannot forget history, Hebbar and Shankar Bhatt, J.M. Rebello, I. Rebello, and then Kerala Varma, Tikkunja Gopalakrishna Bhatt. Tikkunja Gopalakrishna Bhatt, Kannada lecturer, you were in the class, whenever he visited our class, first 2 benches are empty, 2 desks are empty, because the previous whole night he used to go for Yakshagana. After coming next day morning with Bida, whenever say pach, everything was spilled in the first bench. Nobody used to sit there. Tikkunja Gopalakrishna's classes, first 2 benches are empty, 3. All were jammed in the last bench. I was tall, I was Bhagwan Das, Raghunath and Edmund Frank and then Anthony Gomes, my cousin, and all were together, because the reason is this was happening. Nobody has a right to tell lecturer why they are not sitting, but his Kannada poem, whenever they say that, here pach, red color is formed out. What to do? What to tell? Whole night is Yakshagana, daytime it was shown by us, and it was a terrible sight to see, but he was a loving lecturer, nobody failed in Kannada. Very good teaching, the best one. Tikkunja Gopalakrishna Bhatt means his name we cannot forget. He used to have a Yakshagana from this side to that side. The class, whenever he taught the language, Kannada language, used to go from this side to that side. But he used to avoid sleep, otherwise he would be sleepy. That's the reason. And his other thing which I said just now. Anyway, this is within us, not to publish, but he is no more, I am told. May God grant him peace. Then, other things, this is very secret, nobody knows. Now, Bhagwan, Lokanath, Gilbert Shipera, SAC, a mischievous boy, and cricketer Kumar, Santosh Kumar, MG Kumar, you know, they made a plan. 28th is the last working day in St. Louis College during our time. March month is a holiday, a revision holiday. April 1st, 2nd, exams. That was the timetable. I happened to be on particular day. Near the room of Benjamin, we were talking with him, conversing, sir, light to Varsha. In the meantime, Bhagwan Das is telling to Gilbert Shipera, ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಗಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಬುಲಕ್ ಕಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಡೇ, ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಬುಲಕ್ ಕಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ, 9:05 ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಬುಲಕ್ ಕಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ದೂತಿಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಗೀಲ್ಬರ್ಟ್, ಭಗವಾನ್ ದಾಸ್, ಲೋಕನಾಥ್, SAC ಅಪ್ಪಣ್ಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಬೇಕು, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಡೇ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೋಂದೆಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 8 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬುಲಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಗಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಗಾಡಿ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಏರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜನ ಕೂಡ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೊಳಗೆ ಯಾರೋ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗುವರು, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವರು ಯಾರೋ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಗೆ ಸುದ್ದಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಮಾರೇ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇವರ ಗಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಲ್ಲ, ಗಾಡಿಯ ಬಿಡುವವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ I remember none of them were alive, otherwise I would get them here and talk to them regarding this. Just to mock our principal and mock somebody, to make fun. This was arranged, but this fun totally failed. Whatever man proposes, God disposes, and it happened practically, and we remember even now, along with that group where it may be there, I was one of them, because I was compelled to come there, because if I leaked the secret to others, they would punish me. Therefore I went there near the Jyoti, but then I was virtually afraid of principal. He would not give me a hall ticket, and he would not allow me to write exam, or teaching would be given. So such complexes I had, and others I had. So somewhere we escaped till we got hall ticket. All of us were assembled there, where virtually we were afraid, but we never revealed to anybody. This was what our college, a little mischief as student of 18 to 21, we did it. ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಮ್ಮೆ, ಮೀಶ ಬರುವಾಗ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ನೆಲ ಕಾಣುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಉಂಟಂತೆ. ಯಾರು ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಮನೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಾಣುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಮೀಸ ಇರುವಾಗ ಇದು ಆ ರೀತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಉಂಟು. ಆ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು 21 ವರ್ಷದ ಹುಡುಗರಾಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡೋದಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲರ್ಸ್, ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಏನು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಚ್ಚಂದ್ರೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಜೆಲ್ ಹಾಕೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಈಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಆಗ ಏನು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಮನ್. ಹಣ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೂರ್ಗಿಸು ಕ್ಯಾಂಟೀನ್ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ 5 ಮಂದಿ ಒಂದು ಕಪ್ ಕಾಫಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕಪ್ಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಡಿದದ್ದು 1/5, 1/3 ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಮನ್. ಆಗ ನೋ ಮನಿ and nobody gives us a loan. Those were the very hard days. 10 ಪೈಸೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಿರುಮುರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೈ ಹಾಕಿ ತಿನ್ನೋದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಗದ ಹರಿದು ಕೂಡ ತಿನ್ನುವಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟದ ದಿನ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಚಿಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಜಾಯಿಂಡ್ and I feel this is all happened. Now I have to tell something on our lecture I passed on, their intelligence, their quality standard, and what they have made us, how they have made us from clay, a potter, what he does it and give a shape, I said. Now there is sports and games. It's very sad to say, today students are not attracted to sports and games, but they are attracted to digital technology, all kind of a, what they say, mobile or laptop or I don't know what it is. Anyway, they are attached to that. Games and sports made a sound body, one. Secondly, mental happiness. After theoretical classes, little play, it made us very strong. So those days, it was insisted, and we had a very good physical director, and we loved to be in the grounds. And he himself came with playing dress, our physical director, late Benjamin D'Souza, and taught us many things. And that has attracted many boys who are in Vijay Bank today, particularly Vijay Bank. Many boys, I have said, railways, income tax, and also some of the other banks. How sports persons are recruited, the majority from Aloysius College then, and now recently from other colleges, because that was the tradition of the college. That was there. Even now there is a sports quota, but it is vacant. Even now. Other day I had gone to the English paper, I saw that vacant. Nobody claims from South Canada. Normally there was a competitive outlook, competition was there, and everybody is robust in health, and their trial run over there in the banks to get the best 6 places within India, or whatever benchmark they had, whatever qualification they had, we used to supersede. But today it is impossible because the students have no much interest towards games culture, but they have, for other culture they have great interest. Intellectuals they are, at a very young age their heavy intellectualism is to be seen with them compared to us. But parents are not encouraging. Parents are encouraging them tuitions. Parents are encouraging them to go weekend outs. Parents are encouraging them to so many other things. And this has made the society sickly, which I am open to tell. But since you are a grandparent now, at home there are your grandchildren, you better tell them to play. Now we walk at the age of 70, 71. Let them not walk, but let them play, and that makes body perfect. That is very important, which I loved very much, and I cannot forget this because the way we are trained from out of nothing, something and everything. 5 minutes over. You come to me 6 minutes. Claps are on the way. 1 minute wait, then I finish. Yeah, college made us through their best examples, showing an example, moral and ethics. They had high principle, therefore we are made humane, we are made lovable, and their work ethics and their principles have made us outrightly great, because whatever they are, we are their replicas. Whatever they are like, we are alike. Today we are prodigy of those days lecturers' sincerity, simplicity, and love which they have shown to us. It has made us what we are. Many of us not reflected or realized, but it is a point blank truth, jacket truth, that the lecturers have really toiled for us those days, because in those days background, 50 years background, and compared to today, it is different altogether. They too had worries, they too had tensions, they too had so many things. As I said, when I became an ordinary principal in one of the colleges in Puttur, I had to meet Father LF, and he had shared with me many things which surprisingly there were moments more terrifying, more tensions welcoming than relaxed life. Relaxed life. Those days, now we see of stress, now we speak of worries, dejections, solitude, no company, and all that we say speak in terms, and for this we have a remedy. Those days they had no remedy, yet they have found us. And today there were 7 or 8 lecturers, though they are very old, because of their love towards us, attracted them to be with us. I would at this age or after 5 years, if somebody calls me, I would say no. But their love towards us, students, they have given up all their programs and they have come to us. And others have not come because they are either in the bed or they are no more. Otherwise they would definitely come. This is what the truth and this is the reality. And other things, my classmates, we are the highest students in BA, around 80 or so. And I enjoyed their company. I had a couple of Portuguese boys where nobody come because of the Omicron and so many other factors, as is enumerated morning. We enjoyed in our class. There were very good singers we had in the person of Prem Lobo, our batch classmate, batch is Eric Becom, and then so many other places we used to go together and have fun. And all that was there. All that was there. So that has made me quite happy. And when I became principal, we had no love letters to write in the college because that time no girls there were. But when I became principal in the college, girls were there. So boys from this side to that side to this side, they used to write the letters and pass on. And in between me, sometimes the letters are in my pocket. The boy blinks the girl and girl blinks the boy, but letter is in my pocket. All letters used to come to principal's office, then signature and then go. The student did not know. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಪ್ಪು ಶರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಅಂತ 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ಅವರು ಓಡುದು ಕಣ್ಣು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂಥದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಆದರೆ ನಾವಿರೋ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಕಷ್ಟ ಒಂದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಫೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗೋದು ಕಬಡ್ಡಿ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್. ಮರುದಿನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೇಟ್ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು, ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೇಟ್ ಇದ್ದವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಗುರುತಾದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಫರ್ ಆಗುವನಿದ್ದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆಫ್ ವಾಲ್ಟರ್ ಡಿಸೋಜಾ and so many other my classmates, batchmates have made me to rise from that sickness, and they have made me to be better now. I am very happy and outgoing too. So thank you very much. I wind up, but prior to that, I deeply pray for you, every one of you, for your intentions of your family and you and your belonging, all family members. I really deem it this is a privilege given to me to speak a few words. I shared my frank opinions as it is and spoke to you my shortcomings and my ill wills and other instances. But I remain grateful to you because you were a silent audience and made me to speak 5 to 10 minutes or so. Thank you and bless you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father, for that honest narration. What made it all the more hilarious was that it was served raw with the edges intact. Thank you. Next on my list is a boy from the PCM batch, Cletus D'Souza.
Father Gomes has spoken. There's very little I can say, so I don't think I will say much. I remember 2 things. One is our physics classes, where in our class test, Edwin is here, he would write 2 pages, get 98 marks. And we would write 10 pages and get only 70 marks. And then we would compare his answers and our answers. He had a beautiful handwriting and we could never cross him. Next one is practicals. Emmanuel, you won't know who is Emmanuel. We used to call him Impu. Nobody wanted him as a partner in the physics practicals, simply because what we would do, there were two of us in each experiment. One would do, the other one would write the observations. So we would finish it very fast. But he would say, I will do my experiment, you do your experiment. So nobody wanted him, and he used to always be my partner for physics experiment. As a result, I have learnt a lot of physics, much more than chemistry. For chemistry, I had a classmate, Lawrence Fernandez, he is no more. For every little small doubt, he would come, he was across the lab, he would come to me, ask and then go back. Many times, the lab in charge has caught him and said he would take a step and then look at him and stop. He said, no, you go and ask him. Go and ask him. So they would send him. So these are some simple memories that I remember. Old memories are all very good. And Walter said, you meet your old classmates, cement new relationships. It will all work perfectly today. Tomorrow we will forget. So don't feel bad. Unless we meet more often, I don't think we will remember. Because now the current memory recording is little bad. Old memories are still there. The hard disk is fine. The software is not okay now. So as a result, please continue to be on the WhatsApp group. Keep sending messages. Good, bad or ugly, doesn't matter. Just keep, so that we are active, we are connected, and we will remain like this for a very long time to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Cletus, for encapsulating your sentiments into a short and sweet address. Next on my list is Narendra Nayak from PCM batch. PMC batch, sorry.
I joined Aloysius institution for my PUC in 1967. That was the first time I formally entered the college as a student. Though I used to come to college with my dad many times, seen the college. My father was in staff here. He was a lecturer in the physics department. So the first person I met was Reverend Father Raspina. So during the interview, so he just looked at my form and said, "You come alone? Where's your parent?" He asked. I said, "No, he hasn't come, so I have come alone." He said, "Who is your father?" He asked me. He knew me. He just asked me, "Who is your father?" I said, "Where is he working?" He asked. I said, "He's working in St. Aloysius." That was my first encounter with him. I said, "Which department?" He said. I said, "He's working in physics department." He was behaving as if he doesn't know me. Then he just opened my SSLC marks card. He said, "See the marks you have scored in physics. You have scored 92. You should have scored 99 or 100. He said. ಎಂಥದಿದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ PUCಗೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ 100ಕ್ಕೆ 100 ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅಂದರೆ ಫೇಲು. I said, "Okay. Then why has he not come with you?" He asked me. I said, "He has gone for some examination work." That was my first encounter. He said, "Okay, go pay the fees." The second encounter, I knew that people were too scared of him. Interactions with him were really, meeting him was little terrifying. Always in the class I used to observe him very serious. So he gave a class test. After about a month, he gave a class test. And I had prepared very well for the class test, but I fell sick on that day. I had temperature when I got up in the morning. I couldn't write the test. So next day I went to the class. So first thing he asked in PUC, that class, is how many of you were absent for the test? So 5 of us stood up. He got hold of me first. 10 minutes I had absolute, he said, why is it that you have not come? I said, I was not well. Then he said, you are quite all right day before yesterday, and today you are quite okay, and yesterday only you felt sick. I said, yes, I felt sick. No, I can't believe this. I don't like students skipping tests, he said. Then he started firing He was literally spitting fire. I was just totally scared. I just looked at him. After 10 minutes, I again told him, no father, I was well prepared for the test. Are you really well prepared for the test? His face was all red. He said, yes. If I give you a test now, will you pass? He asked me. I said, sure. You can give me a test now. Then he calmed down a bit and said, okay, today is Saturday. You know I can't give you a test now. I have to continue with this class. So come tomorrow morning, high school, first floor, a private where we reside. Come there in the lobby there, I'll give you the paper. 9 o'clock, you come prepared for 1 hour test, he said. Next morning I went there. He gave me the paper. I was sitting and writing there. A couple of times he came and saw. Then he saw what I'm writing. Then he said, are you okay today? He asked me. I said, yeah, but fever is there, slight fever 100. He said, yeah, I could see that, he said. Ordered for coffee, got me coffee twice in that 1 hour. Wrote the test, and then it was over. Okay, I scored good marks. That was the second encounter. But he was never looking at me in a very friendly way, but he had a soft heart. I could understand that. But it was very difficult to gauge him. At what time he will come back on us. Seriously. So always you have to be really careful when dealing with him. That was the kind of understanding I had. Subsequently, he was my dad's student. My dad graduated from St. Aloysius in 1938 with first rank in Madras presidency. He got the gold medal in 1938 in the college. He was his first batch student. Subsequently in 75, when my sister's marriage was fixed, my dad was looking around for money. A lot of money is required to get two daughters married. Both of them, one got married on January 10th, the other one got married on January 5th, 2 marriages in 1 week. So one day suddenly my dad came back home and said, yeah, money problem is solved. It was Reverend Father Askina who helped. He said, okay, how much money you want? What are you busy with? My dad told him he was looking around for some loan or something like that. He said, okay, don't worry, I'll organize. How much money you want? So that was given. And he said, whenever you have money, before you retire, you pay it back to college. So it was organized. So he really had, intentions of helping people, but as a principal, I think he had to put on that kind of a appearance. Otherwise, students will definitely take him for granted, and that was the reason why probably he was very strict. Okay, that's about Father Askina, but when I think about the college, looking back, it is our teachers who come to my mind immediately. So I was in PMC batch, mathematics, yes, Krishnamurti. He was a real source of, he was ultimate in mathematics, ultimate. So he had a habit of helping us out by saying, okay, if you find any problem which is very difficult, just write it on a paper and give it to him. He had a huge coat, huge pockets there. So as he walks in or walks out of his class, students give him small chits, problems written on it. Okay, any problem in mathematics, you can write and give it to him. He would take it home, solve it. We have to write our name and batch. Next day during the class, he will bring it and give it back to us. I don't know if Ramon and others remember that. He would give it back to us. One student gave a problem which was wrong, totally wrong. There was no answer for that. That problem cannot be solved. Some integration or differential equation problem. Next day he came, took out that paper and said, who is this person who gave me this? Okay, you gave this, from which book did you pick it up? He asked. He said, no, I found it somewhere. No, not somewhere, tell me which book. Because I know every book, problem which is given to me, I can tell you from which book you have removed it. I mean, you have got it out. He said, I don't remember. Then he said, henceforth, don't give me problems, which are not in any textbooks. Or in a corner you write there, this is picked up from this textbook. If I have not seen it, I would like to know. Because this problem has no solution. I spent 4 hours trying to solve it. No solution for this. So thereafterwards he said, when you give me a problem, make sure it is in a textbook. I will solve it for you. This is Professor Krishnamurti. He was real, genius in mathematics. I would rate him very high in maths. Then Professor Upadhyaya. Upadhyaya was my teacher in PUC for mathematics. So first day I was sitting there in the class. Next class he came and he used to ask us questions. So first question was, probably it was directed to me which I didn't know. He asked the question and said, can you answer me 1236? He said, 1236, he said, 1236. Everybody was looking around, I was also looking around. He was looking at me and saying 1236, 1236. So what is this 1236? Is it a problem? Finally, it is my register number. He would remember our register number in PUC, in a batch of 85 people. And he would ask us questions by register number. It's like calling prisoners by numbers. That was real fun. Then subsequently, when I came to BSc, it was Emmanuel, real super teacher. I suppose most of us, Vishwanath Nair, probably Rammohan would agree. He would ask questions in the class, first 10 minutes. Formula, his class, we need to by heart all the formulas and keep ready answers. If you don't know the answer, write it 5 times, bring it tomorrow. So next day, occasionally he would ask, sometimes he won't ask. If he asks, if you have not written 5 times the answer, he would say, write it 10 times. Then the third day it is out of the class. So he was really strict, but what made it perfect was, at the time of final exam, his subject, analytical geometry, we didn't do any preparations. I didn't do any preparation. Because I was prepared for the final exam any day. Right from first year BSc to third year BSc, it was like every day revision. Before going to his class, half an hour we had to revise, solve some problems, keep remembering the formula, then you don't have to prepare for the final exam. If every teacher is like that, before the exam, mathematics exam, if it is tomorrow, previous day we can go and see a movie in the night, second show. We don't require any practice. That's the kind of training he gave us. And today I work as a voluntary teacher in a school. I go and teach. After the last 5 years I've been teaching in the NGO run school. I go and teach mathematics. I don't do any preparations because whatever subjects he taught me, analytical geometry and the other subjects, even today if he comes and asks me questions, I can answer. I was expecting him here now, today, this morning, if he was there, I was thinking he may come and ask. First 10 minutes he would ask questions like this. And last class, Father Gomes mentioned about this bullock cart episode. Okay, similar thing happened in our class. I don't know how many of my classmates remember it. Some of our classmates, they came in dhotis. Everybody was scared of Emmanuel, first class, and early in the morning. So all of them were rehearsing. Suppose he asks what to tell him. Suppose he says, why have you come in this dhoti and juba and all that. A lot of rehearsal was going on. This Vittalacharya, Mohandas Acharya, so many were there. I don't know whether anybody is here out of that group, 6 of them. They came with dhoti and juba or something else, some shawl and all that stuff. So half an hour they have prepared what to tell him in case he asks them the questions. Why are you wearing this kind of fancy dress or whatever? And this gentleman entered the class and looked at us, did like this, and said, I will mention some names and they should stand up now, he said. He called out their names, all the 6, and he said, please go out of the class. Nobody had any explanations. All those explanations which they rehearsed all went for a toss. They walked out of the class. This is Emmanuel. Then we had Father Aloysius D'Souza, very soft spoken, and he used to teach us astronomy. Excellent teacher, but you have to put little efforts to listen to him because his voice was very low. The volume was very low. But excellent teacher. He would go out of the way to explain to us if there are doubts. And on the days on which we used to have his tests or exams, evening he would drop in at staff quarters and show me my paper and tell me all the mistakes that I have committed. Whatever mistakes, he would say, your understanding is wrong here, I want to explain it to you. He would explain it and go. That's the kind of efforts he was putting to make us understand maths, whatever he was teaching. So I think by and large I have covered everybody in maths department, physics department. Well, I mean, why did I take PMC? There's a big question mark. After PUC, I was just wondering which branch to take, whether PMC or PCM. I couldn't go for engineering because I was underage. That year there was a strict rule that October 3rd you have to complete 16 years because I passed through a narrow window when 10th standard was made SSLC. Earlier to that, 11th class was SSLC. So I had only 10 years to SSLC. Then PUC was 1 year for 2 more years. Afterwards PUC was made 2 years. It became 10 plus 2. Earlier it was 11 plus 1. But for 2 years there was a short window, 2 or 3 years, where it was 10 plus 1. I sneaked through that window. Entire batch, I think, all of us went through that. So that year they made it compulsory that people should have completed 16 years before they enter professional course. So 16 years not completed, no way I could get into any engineering college, so I had to come for BSc. And they brought in a rule that students should produce medical certificate if they are underage. And Professor Raspina told me when I went for the interview, you need a certificate, medical certificate. What's your weight? He asked me. I said 42 kgs. You need a certificate. Get a certificate. What certificate? I asked him. Some doctor has to certify that you're medically fit to undergo this course. This BSc course is really tough, he said. So I had to got a medical certificate. It was really taken from all of us, those who were underage. We had to give a certificate. Then I joined. Then he asked me which branch you want. I was thinking PMC or PCM, PMC or PCM. Then finally, suddenly I realized that decision is very easy. The point was, if I take physics and chemistry, I'll be restricted to only that block. I can't come to this administrative block and this stone building and all. Final 2 years, physics, chemistry. You know, downstairs is physics and chemistry there. I have to be there only in the college. Said, okay, decision is made. Physics, I go to that building. That building was excellent, which is no more there now. You know, wooden flooring, and when you walk there will be sound. Excellent, you know. People with NCC shoes, NCC was compulsory in PUC, and this chemistry, Kinney and others, they used to let us go a little late for the practicals. They would conduct theory class and leave us after an hour or something like that for practical, and always we are delayed. I had to go to Mandagudda, have my lunch and come back with NCC shoes on. So I was so lean, and running on that wooden platform makes a lot of noise. So I finally decided, okay, it has to be PM physics maths because I want to be in both the buildings. The central stone building is better than that. Instead of staying there all the time, let me be half here, half there. So that was the reason I went for physics maths. Then about languages, Nambiar was teaching me Hindi. There were all different languages in the class other than Hindi there. People used to speak in Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, Tulu, Konkani, and Hindi was only spoken by him, not heard by anybody. That was how it was. He was very good in Hindi, and we all could get good scores. His teaching was good, but unfortunately, we were not able to hear him because noise in the class was more than his voice. Then Padkanaya was my Hindi teacher in PUC. His teaching was very good. He was multilingual. He knew many languages. I think he had a MA in economics. He used to teach economics, Hindi, and one more subject he used to handle in the college. Kannada, I think. Kannada, yes. Oh, thinking about Kannada, I was not a Kannada student, but still GK Bhatt, Father Mooms mentioned about him. I have some experiences with him because he knew me because I was Nayak's son. So one day he said, come home. I have to, there's something, I don't remember why I went to his house. He went to his house, the door was open. I entered. That we used to call it as chavadi, which was just a step, 2-3 steps up. Nobody was there. And I heard somebody calling me. I was looking around, he was calling me, Narendra, Narendra. I was hearing his voice, but I was not able to see him. So I looked around all over, and suddenly I thought the voice is coming from top somewhere. He was on the jackfruit tree. He was standing there, and with the cigarette in his hand. And he was just clapping and seeing which jackfruit has ripened. I never thought he will climb the jackfruit tree. It's a fact, he was on the jackfruit tree. Then he said, ಒಂದು ಹಲಸಿನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗು ಮನೆಗೆ. ಯಾವ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯಾ ಇದು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಹಣ್ಣಾಗಿದೆ. He was just tapping. I was so scared. With his okay, that was about GK Bhatt. And Devendran was our teacher in PUC for English, and Frank was also teaching us English. Then Devendran was very business-like, teaching was good, and Terence Colosso. Father Terence Colosso was our English teacher in BSc, English teacher in our BSc. So his class used to be real fun. He would teach what he wants to teach. I mean, syllabus can be anything. He would teach what he wants to teach. It was a lot of fun. And subsequently, he was in Bangalore, in St. John's for some time. He had some official work there. Then subsequently, he was in St. Joseph's College after retirement. And I had contacts with him. He dropped in our house quite a few times, and we had lunch together. About I think 10 years back, a couple of times he came to my house. That was the last year. And then physics department, coming to physics department, Professor Caston, very simple man. He had a bicycle, a very old bicycle. He would come in that, and his classes, he taught us sound. He was very strong in the subject and good lecturer. We enjoyed his classes. It was super. And he was very, very meticulous in covering the entire syllabus. And even Father Eskina taught us quite a few, I think 2 or 3 papers. First year, second year, and third year also I think he taught us modern physics. And Father Eskina would come with notes which he has prepared, and those papers used to be brown in color, very old notes. He would have written down those problems which he solves, and he would open those out one by one paper very carefully, because if you fold it, it will break. Paper is to be very old. So he used to teach quite well. And as I told you earlier, class gupchup, everybody used to be listening to him. And whatever he says is final. But then subject, we understood very well. Father Matthias, he had a style of his own. You won't believe, this college, every lecturer had his own style. But the final objective was met. Everybody was good in studies, in teaching us in his own way. Father Matthias, sometimes he would joke in the class, so you will get to know that he's cracking a joke. Because he would first make some gestures, then he will say, like that he would say, the joke is coming, you can make out. So then the joke will be there, just to be a real joke. I remember one, somebody asked, I don't know whether it's Ramon or somebody asked a question in the class. I think it was Ramon, I'm not sure. There was some derivation which he was doing. There was a sigma symbol. Like this we used to write sigma symbol. So a few steps he wrote sigma, 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 and suddenly sigma became integration. Suddenly that sigma became integration. Somebody asked in our class, I don't remember who exactly it is, how did that sigma become integration? From that step to this step. So he walked that way, this way. Suddenly, silence for a while, and suddenly he started coughing. He knew some answer is coming now. Then he said, you hold that sigma like this and open it out like this. It becomes an integration. The two ends of the sigma becomes integration. That was a joke. Anyway, then K.V. Rao was a brilliant guy, rank holder in Malsingavutri. He came and joined, a youngster. And his standard bar was very high. So he would skip steps. 2-3 steps, which takes us to the next step, he would do in one step. And then we stop him, he goes back, comes forward. He says, why should I waste time in explaining? So instead of straight away explaining 1, 2, 3 step, he would go from 1 to 4, go back to 1 and then 2 again, jump to 4, go back to 3. So 5 times the time. Instead of going straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, he would go 1 to 4 and then go back to 2. Then. So he would say, all these things you must have studied in 8th standard, 9th standard, so why do you make me go up and up? He was very fast. So running with him in the class used to be a little difficult, but ultimate. As far as teaching is concerned, he had a very good command over the subject, grip over the subject, and absolutely no doubts when we leave the class. That's how it used to be. Other than that, KB Kinney, chemistry was our minor. KB Kinney taught me chemistry in PUC. And in the first class, he would always say that whoever scores above 90 or highest in the class, he would take him for a treat in Moti Mahal for dinner. So our batch in PUC, DeCosta Emmanuel, if I'm right, you scored 95, right? Right? He was the one who had the privilege of having dinner with him in Moti Mahal. DeCosta Emmanuel. Then Professor Lasrada was our chemistry professor for chemistry minor. And in 1 year, chemistry was over. And I thought, okay, thank God I didn't take chemistry, because chemistry, I don't know why these chemistry professors tell us that hydrogen sulfide smells like rotten egg. That brings in some kind of a aversion. So whenever walking to that chemistry department, they used to keep that apparatus outside, and it would smell of rotten egg, because somebody has told us it's rotten egg. I've never smelled rotten egg, but hydrogen sulfide. So then I remember these titration experiments. There was a demonstrator by name Somayaji. These chemistry demonstrators were very strict, and they used to, any mistakes they used to shout. Shouting they don't do they don't come near us and shout at us. We do the mistake, they will be watching from a distance and they will shout from that corner of the lab when we are standing there. So everybody hears that. So one day a classmate of ours, I don't remember his name, he was doing titration experiment, keep putting those drops there and shake like this. The color slowly becomes lighter, then it becomes transparent. I think Cletus will certify my chemistry is okay. Then suddenly, if you put another drop extra, it will start turning pink or black, and then if you put 8 drops, it becomes totally black. So we have to stop where it is exactly, titration point where it is clear, just turning its color. So this guy kept on trying, and this, you don't know what the titration value is. Sometimes it may come at 8.1 cc, sometimes 17 cc, but right from the beginning we have to put in drops only and keep shaking like this. So this guy lost his patience. As it was nearing the titration point, he lost his patience. He was doing like this, and suddenly he thought, let me put some 5 drops. And suddenly he put 5 drops. It became totally black. And we were just looking at it, and Somayaji was observing from a corner and said, Mr. Bhatt, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಕಷಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? This was our experience in chemistry, minor. So by and large, I think I've put all my experiences here. And classmates, yes, they're really super. I mean, we never had any fights in the class. I don't remember in the entire 3 years. So, I mean, the relationship between all of us was very cordial. I didn't have much interactions with students because I used to come to the college just in time because I was living in quarters that time. BSc, we moved over to quarters from Managoda, we came over here. So it was just walking in time, and then as soon as the college is over, I used to go walk back home. And I remember Father Jaravid was our classmate. He used to stay in, I think, somewhere near the Gonzaga house or somewhere, that side. So our house was just next to it. I heard he is no more. And others, yes, Madhav Prabhu, Shivrao was scored first rank in BSc. He was my classmate from primary school. Anil Ramchandra Shet, BCom first rank holder, was also my classmate in primary school. And BA first rank, I don't remember his name. What is his name? Raymond Sikera. Yeah, I didn't know much about him, but all these three people, they came to Bangalore. There was an award given to them on Rajyotsava Day, so I was studying in Indian Institute of Science that time. I moved over to Indian Institute of Science from St. Aloysius. So I met all of them there in town hall. They got gold medal. State government used to honor all those who got first ranks from universities with a gold medal. So I attended that function and met all three of them. So this is about it. I've put everything, whatever comes to my mind. And thanks a lot to Walter D'Souza. He called me up and told me, can you talk for 4 minutes? I said, okay. I was there for 4 years in the college, so 1 year per class. Usually 1 year, 1 minute. 1 minute for first BSc, one for second. But I think I exceeded my time, but still it was a pleasure coming back. It was like a homecoming for me. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Narendra, for that wonderful presentation. We could build a visual picture as you went along with your nostalgic narration. Now time is flying faster than the Concorde today. So the next person on my list is Ivan Lobo from the BCom batch. We want you to be as crisp as possible. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Let me tell you how I got into the Aloysius College. I was interviewed by Father Vas. He was the vice principal. We used to call him Vice. He saw my marks card, SSLC from Pilatus High School. English, 74, good. Social studies, good. Chemistry, good. Hindi, good. Mathematics, 43. Physics, 41. What do you want to be? What do you want to take up? I said, I want to take up BSc. Well, my son, 42 and 43, you can't take up BSc.
I will use the mic. Come forward, closer to the mic.
BCom is what you can become. Go, pay the fees and join. That was my beginning. Nothing like that what happened to my previous speakers happened to me. I was never sent out of the class, but our whole class was sent out. We had a bunch of pranksters. We were great pranksters. We were perhaps the worst batch in the annals of the college. Every class from first BCom onwards was an entertainment for us. We had Katie Shetty, our HOD Commerce, who used to take up accountancy. One fine morning, on a Shivratri morning, when we come to the college, let me tell you, he was a chartered accountant. He used to practice and had an office next to the present Bharata BJP office, and he had a board placed there. Katie Shetty and Company, Chartered Accountants. When we were coming to the college that day on a Shivratri morning, we find the board hanging on Mangli's juice stall. Another instance where Katie Shetty walks into the class on the first period. He was taking up accountancy. He looks around and he finds all the desks and the blackboard and the table and the chair smeared with tar. He looks around and says, the one who has done has got all the attributes of a painter. Class is dismissed until the matter is settled. And we were out of the class for about a week. Then we had another instance where the last backbenchers who were sitting, I don't want to name them.
You can name.
It was Devendran said, last bench, get out. They were chit-chatting, not paying attention. Said, last bench, get out. These people quietly lifted the bench, took it out, kept it out, quietly walked back and sat wherever there were vacant places. Then there was another instance where Emmanuel was taking statistics for us, and there was somebody predicting today we will have a bomb blast in the class. and he even timed it. He said 11:05 is going to happen, and the crackers went off behind the door. And we had similar instances like thumping of the floor, lions roaring in the class, what's up, any kind of mimics, you can name it, we had in the class. That's the kind of experience that probably all of my classmates would remember. And that's it. I'm waiting for the next guys to come up and speak.
Thank you, Ivan. That was sheer delight to our senses. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Next on my list is Chittaranjan Alva from the BSc BZC batch.
Respected Principal, Rector Sir, Walter, Dinesh, I am Chittaranjan Alva, BZC. I studied for 4 years, this prestigious college. The memory of our college always is very sweet. We become very emotional, very loving. After 70 years we are meeting. It's really a great experience. So after 70 years we are all meeting here. Some people we can't recognize them also. It's really a great experience. About the lectures, I just want to remember Devendra was very good for English. Then we had Richard Pinto was there. Richard, today morning he had come. He used to dance in the class up and down and all, and his speech was very good. Devendran. Then Matai, whole first year he used to teach only frog, and he used to call it frogs. Whole first year he taught us only frog only. Only frog. And we had in physics, we had MS Naik. He was a very jovial person, and I remember once he said, couples are never stable. Those days we were all bachelors, we didn't know what was that. He was laughingly said, couples are never stable. So now after so many years, 70 years, we know it's true. Those days he said, he laughed and said, couples are never stable. We thought, what is this he is telling? But now we know he is correct. We had Adhyantaya, we had Anthony Raj. We really enjoyed the college. Another thing I just want to say is, this is a very unique meeting. Really, I should appreciate the people who organized. Because after 50 years we are meeting. This idea is a very unique idea. And we should really appreciate those people who have done it. I want to thank Edmund Plank, Walter D'Souza, Dinesh, Father Xavier Gomes, Ronald Fernandez, Clayton D'Souza, Joseph Imelo. We should all give them a very big thank you. It's a really great idea. When I tell this to my friends, they say, "See, what is this very great thing?" See, after 50 years, we are all meeting our friends. It's a really great idea. So we should all thank them. Another thing I just want to say is, we lost some of our friends. From BA we lost Loknath Bola, then Keshav also. From BA Keshav also expired. Then from BZC we lost Shahjahan, John Sibinto, Lambert. So may God bless their households. We used to come to college by train every day. I don't remember whether I was wearing chappal or not now those days. It was long, 4 years back. We had Rasada for chemistry, Venkatraman Chikkapre Adhyantaya, Richard Pinto, Antoine Raj, Mathai for biology. In these few words, thank you all. Thank you.
Walter always has an ace up his sleeve. He did not let me on to this secret. He only said, give me some time. So here it is, sir, your time now.
Friends, before we dance to the tune of Eric and Prem Lobo, I would like to recognize my team, 7 of us, the organizing committee members, including me. We have met several times. We met over 50 times. During the first phase of the pandemic, about 20 times, and after that. They have slogged, and most important thing was the attendance at all our meetings was 100%. So I would like to recognize our team who gave me a helping hand throughout. First, I would like to call upon Father Xavier Gomes. You have heard him just now. In the morning I spoke about a dream, and once dream is something you don't see in the sleep, but it keeps you awake until you achieve it. Father Gomes, when he dreams of some ideas, he would not sleep. That is all right. The problem was that he would not allow anybody to stay. He would call me at 11 o'clock and he said, I have forgotten this, I want you to do. So please give me a round of applause. I would like to recognize.
You want the entire box?
Yeah, no, so those, one each, please. Get one each. I request Edwin Castellano to recognize Father Xavier Gomes with a small presentation. Then Joseph De Mello, the treasurer. Today you see him in action when it comes to making you spirited. He is good in many things, but that is one of the things that he is extremely good with. And he has managed the finances very well. 1 crore 71 lakhs of rupees. Give him a big hand, please. But I told him that we have a small deficit there. We have collected only 1 crore 35 lakhs. And I told him to make sure that the check doesn't bounce. And he has promised me. Father, please. Then, I do not know if Ronald has come. Unfortunately, he had a migraine and I think he will not come. Then we have Edmund Frank, the secretary, very vibrant. He was in the college and he was able to, Ramon is from PMC. I was also from PMC, Narendra, Ramon and all. And Ramon is the one who taught me maths. So I told Ramon to. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you. Then we have Dinesh. Dinesh was the first one with whom I shared my thoughts and he immediately went into action. CP Dinesh, he was not keeping one in the morning. I am extremely happy that he has come here. I request for the principal to hand over this, please. Cletus. So we have 7 of us, 3 from the chemistry stream. Professor Cletus, Joseph De Mello, and Ronald Fernandez, who has not come. And 1 from BA, and 1 from BZC, and I was from PMC. But with 3 of them there, our chemistry worked out very well. We had no issues. So I request M.V. Nair kindly to come because he is also from PCM, physics chemistry major. Regina Dinesh. You know what happened in a class? An English teacher wrote on the board, behind every successful man there is a woman. And the teacher went out, said, please write an essay, I'll come after 15 minutes. And a mischievous boy wrote below that, behind that woman is his wife. This is one of the rarest examples I have seen for the last maybe 50 years or at least 30 years Regina and Dinesh, they are glued to each other. She doesn't allow any ladies to come in between. But as a compeer, she's par excellence. And you have seen what she is. And today I would like to recognize her. And who can honor her better than Dinesh? For a change, this time as a member of the committee. Not so Dinesh, please hand over this mementos to Regina. Can you go one by one? We do it all with God. And the last one. Thank you, friends. Now let's enjoy the orchestra and the music and the singing that Prem and Eric will be providing. Thank you very much. Yeah? Tomorrow we have the eminent Aloysius award ceremony. Two of our batchmates, Professor Cletus D'Souza and Professor Edmund Frank, are also receiving it. So please join, all of you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for expressing your gratitude. I'll be going back like Santa Claus today. Margaret Crowell says, every kindness should be repaid with an equal or more kindness. So the team would like to honor the chairman, Walter D'Souza. I request Walter D'Souza to kindly take his seat here.
No choice. We request principal and the rector and
Walter is a man whom everyone looks up to, but a man who never looks down on anyone. He has leadership skills ingrained in the deeps of him. Walter is a man of charisma, a man of magic.
I want Leela to come forward, please, because she is the one who permitted me to be the chairman.
Yes, for tolerating all the late nights. Yes. Leela?
Leela, with the mask or without mask?
Leela is the power and drive behind his success story. She stands by him like the rock of Gibraltar. And of course, tolerating Walter with his frequent dinner meetings with his batchmates. This shawl is blue in color because St. Aloysius, their uniform is also blue. And the gold represents the golden batch. Covering him and Leela with the shawl, signifying the fact that we hold them in immense reverence.
One minute. Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't recognize it.
What? Yeah. Wait. 1 minute. Yeah. Yes. Oh. Yes. Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Just a minute.
I'll just go through a brief vote of thanks. The attitude of gratitude can raise the altitude. This is a saying in English. So it is my privilege to offer my gratitude to all the dignitaries present today. First and foremost, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto, Rector. Father, we thank you for your gracious presence. You have been a source of inspiration to us in all our activities. Thank you, Father. Coming to Reverend Father Dr. Praveen Martis, Principal, St. Aloysius College. I should say he is the force behind us, because at one stage we were thinking whether we should cancel this event. And he is the one who backed us and said, there is no chance that you all will cancel the event. You all go ahead. Any responsibility I will take over. And he has encouraged us to continue with this program, and we have made it a grand success. Thank you, Father. Registrar Dr. Alvin Dessar, we thank you for your presence. Our chairman, Walter D'Souza, has been a source of inspiration for our entire team. We thank him immensely for all what he has done. We also thank all the donors who have contributed generously for the project and made it a great success. I also would like to thank all the 1971 batch members who have been present today. Your presence has made us feel that this program is a success with your presence. I would also like to thank Eric Ozerio and Joyce, Prem Lobo, and members of the band who will be entertaining us now. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dinesh. I stand at a risk when I say that I'm introducing this gentleman, because you might say, we know Eric Ozerio, but who are you? He has dominated the landscape with the sheer bulk of his achievements. He is one of the senior-most Konkani composers. He saddles multiple horses. Leader, activist, crusader, singer, composer. He has numerous titles as well, but the most prominent one is Vishwa Konkani Kalaratri. He is the co-founder of the premier cultural organization Man Shoban and Kalangam, the Konkani Cultural Heritage Center. He is a recipient of the prestigious Karnataka Rajyotsava Award in the year 1993. He is one of the few lucky men, for his wife sings to his tune. And Joyce will be accompanying him today, and so also Sanjay Rodrigues on the keyboard. He has James on the keyboard. Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch the magic of Eric Alexander Ozerio.
Sampai kembali Panman sana berkasa Ulun mogai Maka hau kita rangkai Motor binari Yekai sama Esau lima Karina kentari Rau seling macam mau kacing Sopik pandai kesancing Soika la vista sereng sering Kita suyacing Mari ampun baikcing Rupa la keserkacing Lebar maka lembelong Cimo kacing Rau seling macam mau kacing Sopik pandai kesancing Soika la vista sereng sering Kita suyacing Mari ampun baikcing Rupa la keserkacing Lebar maka lembelong Cimo kacing Lebar maka lembelong Cimo kacing Lebar maka lembelong Cimo kacing
Yeah, you did not say once more, so I we sang okay. Yeah, we started with a very traditional number, hoping that you will all join us in the singing. Some did join, so thank you. Yeah. In fact, this whole idea of us singing today came from one song, Cesare Chagara. If you remember, in 1971, for the first time, for the first time, we sang Konkani in St. Aloysius College. Until then, Konkani singing was not known. So Prem Kumar, Jimmy Barokas, and I, three of us, sang Cesare Chagara, and we were heroes those days. Now we are all old. Still heroes.
If genes have as much say as scientists proclaim, then this offspring is genetically programmed to have music sense by the truckloads. He started singing at the raw age of 15. He used to sing in churches and later joined the Wilfie Rebembus troupe, which held Wilfie nights at various places in India and foreign shores as well. He composed 70 Konkani songs and brought out 2 CDs which are his composition and lyrics. He organized the first Premal Sons at Milagros Open Grounds, which was a thumping success. But that's not all. He's a jack of all trades, and contrary to the cliche, a master of them all too. For he writes stories and poems in Konkani, and he has written 5 novels in Konkani. His profession was, he was a banker for 36 years, and now he enjoys what he loves the most, that is singing in churches, going on long evening walks and gardening. Ladies and gentlemen, Premnath Lobo for you.
Marta, Marta, Kangarachi Bali,
Singing this song after 50 years.
Thank you so much. Like a driftwood on a tidal wave, we got swept along by that song. Thank you very much. Now I just have one game for you. Walter has already bought wonderful prizes and kept. What is it that men make but do not use it? Men make it but do not use it. Often? Often men use it. Isn't it right?
But they don't use it.
Others use it. If I don't get the answer, then I'll give it to Father, Reverend Father. If I don't get the answer, the exact answer. Men make it, but they do not use it. Men do not use it. Yes? Men make it, but they don't use it. Men don't use it. I'm giving you a clue. Men don't use it. Yes? Jewelry. That's not a good one. Very intelligent answer. My husband likes jewelry. Makeup. That's also very intelligent. 1971 batch is really, really intelligent. I didn't think of it. Makeup. Yes. Come to think of it, makeup also. I didn't get the answer, Walter. What do I do?
The leader of this band is Ronnie Vegas. He's on the lead guitar. And his colleague James is on the keyboard. And he has his students on the keyboards. And this is Vikshit on the percussion, tabla and congos, bongos, and the rest. This is Joyce Ozirio, my wife. She'll be singing Ajib Dastan. We'll take up one more number of our times. Pukarta Chala Hui.
Wonderful song, Eric. I'm running out of adjectives. Well, we want to have a group photo, so I request all the boys to kindly assemble here. All the boys from all.
Become batch.
Talent, and they have a strange bonding. We have Eric Rosario, we have Prema Togo, all in the Become batch. And
1 minute.
Yeah, he
Sir,
will introduce
sir, 1
himself.
minute, please look here.
Because he has too many achievements. Too many achievements.
Good evening, everybody.
Your achievements, sir.
Yes, before that, how I came, see, I'm an international weightlifter. I represent India colors.
International weightlifter.
Hold the mic closer. I represented India in 1975 in the Indo-USS at Ankara and Turkey. And to begin with, I must tell you how it all happened. I owe my thanks to Trevor Pinto and Joseph Lopo. Yeah. One day I was doing only health exercises, and one day they came to me and said, "See, Arthur, we are competing for the weightlifting championship in the university. Why can't you also be a member of our team?" And they came and taught us a little bit of do this, do that and all. And from that day one, I was good at that. I also did not know. And with 2 months training, I became the university champion. I never looked back. And I owe my thanks to Trevor and Joseph. Yeah, that's all. And Mr. Surya Radhika gave me a job from the sports quota, and I never looked back. I won the Karnataka state championship 11 times. And in those 11 times, I was the best weightlifter of the state, and I won the senior state as a first Karnataka in the year 1974. Junior, first attempt, senior, first attempt, and again I kept that title. Then I retired after 10-15 years, and that's it. And thank you very much. And I thank my Benjamin D'Souza, who gave me a lot of support, and the college which gave me all the education to be what I am today. Importantly, in the 1970, I won the Mr. Aloysius bodybuilding title. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, Arthur, but today I feel as low as a Dashan after hearing your achievements. Now, Ivan wants to speak.
I was going to talk something about my close friend Arthur. We were classmates, benchmates too. Arthur used to be the weightlifter. When he became the weightlifter, he won the Mr. Aloysius. Once he became Mr. Aloysius, one day when he came late to the class, boys started saying, "Skirt lifter." From that day on, Arthur was never late to the class.
Thank you, Ivan, for your terrific sense of humor. Yes, thank you so much. And now it's the which batch? BSc batch.
Let each one introduce themselves. We don't know them. We can't recognize them.
I'm Nancy Was. Okay, I used to be very quiet in the class, very good watch for me. Okay, since this guy is on my right, I will tell you a story. You know, we used to love our lecturers, but we used to hate them also. There were a few we normally used to trouble. One of them, I don't want to name him, he's no more. Okay, this guy used to be in the front bench and we were the back benches. Okay, we used to carry this Coca-Cola caps. Okay, from behind we should throw them, and he was facing the board. Okay, Arthur used to be in the front. Okay, what he was doing was he used to kick it back. Other lecturer used to look back and say, "Who is that?" Class is quiet. I remember this because Arthur is just next to me. Okay, I'm Nancy. Okay, I went to Abu Dhabi in 1971, 72, end of 72, joined a company called Abu Dhabi Telegraph and Telephone Company. As a personal assistant to chief engineer, he was British. From there onwards, I moved on, okay, with the same man. He became the branch manager, I was his secretary. Then I was moved to HR. Okay, I worked in HR for more than 27 years, out of my 31 years of experience. So, okay, I had various jobs job titles. At the end of my service, the last job title I held was head of performance management. I worked there for 31 years, okay, most of the period in HR. And retired in 2004. We returned to India in 2004 and we are living here. Thank you.
You must be knowing me already. I am Ivan Lobo, very unassuming character. Very quiet, best boy in the class. Yes, but I used to cooperate with the rest of them. I never used to say no to any of the mischief. I was never caught, as I told you earlier. The whole class was caught. Coming back to my story, I started my career. I found a newspaper cut. Probably something was packed and brought to my house. I found a newspaper cutting where I saw clerks wanted, Canara Workshop Limited. I applied and I got a job. I was interviewed by one Open Chennai, who was the general manager there. He said, why do you want to join this institution? You got so many of your categories, automobiles, your advertisement. Never said that. Then he asked me a few professional questions about what do you know about, how do you detect frauds and all that. And I answered him well. Then he said, okay, do you think you can last stay here with us for a long time? I think I can consider that. Then he said, okay, join tomorrow. Starting salary was 60 rupees a month. Then I said, okay, 60 rupees is better than nothing. I was sitting in the Tago Park or well, I took up the job. Then after I got my results, I was promoted as a graduate training clerk and my stipend was 90 rupees. Once I got the results, after 6 months, I was promoted as a clerk, 185 rupees. Then I got an offer from Karnataka Bank. It was 165 rupees. I said, I better stay with Canada. Then I looked around. I had one Mr. Riker, who was the accountant of the company. He was drawing 300 rupees after working for 20 years. Then the gentleman was drawing 1,000 rupees. And I thought to myself, this is not a place for me. Let her go as the CA. Called my classmate, close friend, Glenn Master, who then turned out to be a preacher later, Father Glenn Master. I said, come here. I'm so sorry. I'll cut it short. Okay. I somehow landed in Bombay, got a job there. Went to the Gulf Middle East, worked there for 18 years. Ended up as a treasury manager in one of the multinationals there. Became a member of the Banquet Stock Exchange. Came back there to Bangalore. Elected a director of the Banquet Stock Exchange. Then here I am, still a stockbroker.
I am K. Kumar Rao from 1971 become back. After graduation, because of my aged parents, I could not leave Bangalore. So I joined one automobile organization as manager, and after so many years of service, I became the director of the same organization and retired about 8 years back. And still now I am continuing working for 2 hours as a part-time accountant. Thank you.
Yeah, I think enough is said about me, so I will not say anything. Thank you.
I am Israeli Lobo. I work in the Gulf and India also. And my BCom, succeeded in that. I work as an accountant at the company accounts also, and as a company secretary I work there. My children are in one boy. My son is in California. He settled in the USA. And my daughter is in London. She is settled there. Both of them working as a manager in the software company.
I am Brain Lobo, already introduced by you, so thank you very much.
I am Raghuveer Nayak. I am a chartered accountant, but now I don't practice. I was practicing, but I am a managing partner in Prakash Offset Printers by Company in Banquet.
Yes. And focus.
Sir, one second.
Chinnashekar Bandari Barinje. After BSc from Aloysius, moved to Manasagawatri, MSc Chemistry, then 1.5 years in Bombay, joined ACC and retired there from after 37 years deputy general manager.
Thank you, Abuzar. Already introduced. I am settled in Navi Mumbai. I am running my own trading company, representing overseas company for analytical instrument. And now my younger son is looking after the business. So, but still you can say I am still working.
Jayakshadai has gifted one instrument, and Chinnashekara Bandari has voted for me when I contested an election in Gangotri. So I won that. About me, you will know tomorrow if you come.
My name is Joseph Demalo. I work for 40 years in Bengal, mainly in the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company.
I am Vincent Sillana. I am settled in Bangalore. I returned to Malaysia as division manager.
I am Father Vincent Putado. Throughout my life, nearly 42 years, I taught philosophy. Even now I am teaching.
Prize for the most bald man, isn't it? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Please exit.
Naik, sir. Just, fine.
I am Walter D'Souza.
I am Edwin, as a banker for 20 years, teacher for 20 years, now fully retired.
I am Rammohan Rao Pillai. I did my MSc in physics and then joined a bank. So I've been a boring banker for nearly 38 years. And then post-retirement, I've been on the board of Karnataka Bank as an independent director for 8 years. So now I have completed my term there also. And Veena, my spouse, is also there. So we had a wonderful time. Thank you very much.
I did my engineering. After graduating from here, I joined the Indian Institute of Science for PE in electronics. Then I did my MS from BITS Pilani and the MBA. I was with the telephone industries for 12 years. I left that place as a deputy chief engineer in R&D and then joined CDOT. I was a CDOT for 9 years and for development telematics. Then subsequently I moved into software industry. I worked for 2 smaller companies. Then I started a startup in 1999 in Bangalore. It was a VC funded company for 8 years. Then the company was taken over by an American listed company. So I was heading their Indian operations for 19 years and took voluntary retirement in 2016. I handle CSR activities of that company. And right now my main job is I work as a high school teacher, voluntary teacher. I go to a Bangalore rural and we have adopted a school there. I teach mathematics and physics for 9th and 10th standard.
I am Emmanuel Di Costa, 1971 BSc of course, but 1972 I joined Union Home Products Limited. I was put for training in Godrej soap works. My boss was the watchman of Godrej. He resigned his job in 1972. I was put for training in soap, detergent and cosmetics. and the factory was situated at Bolu. Formerly it was Standard Tile Factory, which became Union Home Products Limited Detergent Factory, first in Karnataka. 1983 it closed, 1986 Hindustan Lever Limited took over it. But they didn't give us permanent job. They only said managerial. I became the production manager since I was the first man of that company. They gave me only job for 3 months of erecting and setting the lab and training the chemist. After that, I and my co-worker started a partnership detergent factory at Padavinangadi for 14 years. Thereafter, I took up an ordinary job as a storekeeper in a hotel. I am working as an ordinary storekeeper.
I am Prakash Hegde, work for Vijaya Bank. Continued my athletics career for athletics and games for another 10 years after completion of my college career. And after the promotion, I completely stopped the athletics thing and concentrated on my bank, but retired as senior manager in the year 2009.
At Ravindra Shetty, after completing the BSc, I went for law college. And during that period, I worked for Syndicate Bank for 1.5 years. And I joined Vijaya Bank as an officer. I was branch manager right from my younger age, like 25 years, manager to that continued for 78 years. I have 2 daughters, one is in US and one is in Bangalore, both are software engineers. She is married, they are also engineers in software.
And he has to
I'm Trevor Pinto. See, I have a coffee plant. And CV Dinesh, I'm the convener of this event. I have nothing much to say except that I was a senior manager in Syndicate Bank, and later on I took up law practice. I'm an active member of Lions, and I was the past district cabinet secretary of Lions district.
I am Varna Hegde. After graduation, I joined Vijaya Bank as a clerk. After 30 years service, I retired as senior manager, and we have started after retirement, like-minded Vijaya Bank employees, started a society in near airport, Bajpur, about 22 acres of land, and allotted about 217 sites for our employees. I am the vice president in that society.
I am Chittaranjan Alva. After graduation, I joined Vijaya Bank. So, I retired as manager. But soon after joining Vijaya Bank, my uncle said to become a doctor. So I went. He gave me a letter to DMFI. I took the letter to Manipal, see my fate. And that time Sai Baba came to Manipal. So there was heavy rush. So I just came back. If I had given the letter to that guy, I would have become doctor by now. I could have gone, I just went there. I came back and again continued in Vijaya Bank. That's all.
planter. Rich planter. That's what I'm doing. Yes. Highest form of respect. And they truly deserve it. Eric Osario has composed more than 1,000 songs. We want more stories from you, Prem. We would like to see more stories from you. Stories and poems. No? Not now.
This will not
Joyce, that was a lovely song from Dil Apna Preet Parana.
Yes.